Free people have ever driven this car.
What's up, YouTube fam? You already know what time it is. I'm back with some content. Right now I'm heading to Ryan's house. I'm going to check out this Cobra. I'm not sure if it's an 03 or 04, but we got a pretty badass car. Black on black, wheel supercharged. We're probably gonna get a good little ride along with him. Let him go over the mods, give you the rundown on the car, and maybe I may get to feel it out. So I'll be back when I get to his house and we'll go from there. Got a couple other toys that he play with. Nice route to Carbon.
Yeah, this one you probably find this pretty cool. The reason why it's up on jack stands right now is we're doing the Brembo, the ATS Brembo brake upgrade on it.
Yeah, that's what I planned on doing on mine, on my GT.
And we painted it Mistachrome. So that's legit Mistachrome G6 paint.
Right.
On those. And just waiting for the pins to come in for the pads. And then we can put it back on the ground. But this car's got 17,000 miles on it. This is the wife's car. 17,000 original miles on it. And it's got a few modifications. True forged wheels. It's got the 2.3 Whipple.
That Whipple one makes some power.
Yeah, this one, so this car right now makes, it's stock lower, 3.0 upper car only, very mildly tuned for the life. She just wants to enjoy it, wants a nice driver.
Right.
And this one makes right at about 580. 580. Yeah, it makes just under 600 on 93 with that pulley setup. If we really wanted to spin it to the moon, we'd put a lower on it, boost maybe a 4-pound lower on it, and spin the Whipple a little bit harder, and it would probably make 630.
Right.
If we did that, 620, 630 on 93.
That's pretty good. I mean, for this year of car, you wouldn't even.
And that's what's great about Terminators, right? And that's what kind of drew us to them, and what we love about them is just what can you buy? I mean, the prices are going up on them, but a few years ago, you could get a Terminator for 18, 19, mid-20s. If you had a really nice one, you could mid-20s. I paid 25 for mine. We paid 27 for this.
Yeah, that ain't bad.
No, not at all. And guess what?
That ain't bad at
all.
all.
Few modifications, put a little money into it, boom, you got a 700 horsepower car. What can you buy nowadays for $25,000 that
Not
you put
much.
another 5 or 6 in and make that kind of power? You just can't find it anymore. Hellcats, they make a lot of power. They're fat, they're heavy,
right?
But they're $60,000, $70,000.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I'm saying? And my car will roast the Hellcat.
I guess we gonna find that out. A Hellcat though, they are heavy. It's crazy. I mean, they make a lot of power, so I'm pretty sure they probably will hook. So
yeah. And the thing about it is like you gotta put a good tire on that car.
Right.
You know, you gotta pulley it down, port it, throw it on ethanol, do all these mods, and those mods are not cheap for that car.
Right.
Whereas mods for these are so popular and abundant that you can get them for reasonable prices. I mean, you go on the classifieds, you go on the forums, you find full return style fuel systems, you find used superchargers, you find everybody's upgrading to the next newest thing, so they're getting rid of the older stuff.
Everybody's selling it also. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, the market is nuts right now.
Yeah.
Between parts and cars, the used car market is nuts. There was a guy on the forums that has a coupe version of this, Mr. Chrome Coupe, and I think he had 20,000 miles on his, and he had a big Whipple and a bunch of other mods, but his car was like immaculate, super clean. He sold that car the other day, $72,000.
Man, that's a lot of money. I bet he's smiling right now.
Bro, I'm telling you, he went straight out and put a down payment on a 2022 GT500.
Right.
This is her, man. This is 2003 SVT Cobra, black coupe. Just rolled 20,000 miles the other day on it.
That ain't bad.
Yeah, super low miles. Got the black True Forged wheels, long tubes, full exhaust, 2.9 Whipple, stage 3 cams, and then I pretty much just powder coated and cleaned everything under the motor while I had it out.
Right.
Twin disc clutch, Replaced the seats. I got carbon fiber and suede seats on the inside. And then lots of carbon fiber exterior pieces.
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah.
You love that carbon look.
Yeah, I love that carbon look, man. The black and carbon, I think the only other color that really does carbon justice is the dark shadow gray, the DSG with carbon, and then white. That's
the color I plan on getting my GT painted.
Yeah.
Since it's white right now, I want the gray color.
Yeah, that DSG is great because it has a nice metallic. When the sun hits it, that metallic flake really pops out of that paint and comes alive. But True Forge carbon hood vents. I think they're the only kind in existence.
Oh man.
Yeah, had them custom made, you know, carbon fiber window cap. Yep. I got a carbon fiber grill delete here, and then carbon fiber bezels in the front.
Shit, you gotta have some money in just carbon.
I'm telling you, man, people don't really realize how much stuff costs until they start modifying, and then it all adds up. And then,
that carbon stuff is expensive, man.
It really is.
They can even be cheap quality. It costs so much.
It does. Yeah, it's not cheap, man. But once you get it, and you keep it, and you take care of it, man, it looks so good. Too many people buy carbon though, and then they just stick it out in the sun.
Right.
And
then the clear coat,
it starts to peel, and it just looks like garbage. But yeah, but for this one, I mean, I've got carbon side splitters on the bottom.
Right.
And then I've got carbon fiber inserts in the rear scoop on the side scoops inserts.
Oh yeah, you definitely did it right.
And that's the thing, is like people have a tendency to go overboard and do almost too much sometimes.
Right.
I thought that the carbon touches on the car were just enough so that when you were really paying attention, you can see it, and it kind of accented the car, complemented it. It wasn't too much, it wasn't gaudy. You know, it didn't take it too far, you know? Right.
I was telling somebody that to bring it back me that you and Alan should switch supercharger units.
The what?
Y'all should switch supercharger units. How yours matte black and his is that gloss black?
Yeah, so he had his painted while it was off, you know, because he bought his supercharger from a buddy of ours that went turbo on his Terminator. And he got a good deal, and while it was off, he had it painted. And he kind of got the idea from me because my old supercharger, I had a 3.4 on this car before, and it was painted.
Got you.
It was painted gloss black, and he really liked that look. So he decided to do it on his car when he built his. I didn't decide to do it again because it was kind of a time crunch getting this blower on, because I was deployed and I came back and I had very little time to put the car back together. The car sat on jack stands for almost 2 years.
Right.
And there was a lot of things that we needed to work out with the vehicle and get it retuned, get it to the tuner, get everything situated. So I have a very small window, and I wanted to use every second of that window to make sure that, you know, the car was running right and put together properly. So I was worried less about aesthetics and more about the performance and getting the car running right and getting it good.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, Pro Dyno did a phenomenal job tuning the car. You know, especially since it's got such big cams.
Right.
A lot of people say, you know, big cam cars are hard to drive, but it's really all about the tuning. If you get the tuning right and you get it spot on, really it drives almost like stock.
Right.
Yeah. So.
How much power you think this will make?
So, it dynoed at 635.
630? That's good.
With 620 foot-pounds of torque.
Right.
And it is a 3.5 upper with a stock lower. So really it's only pushing about 20 psi to the blower, through the blower, and I could pulley it down and make close to the 700, but really the car with the cams and the way everything is set up, it pulls. Like, it drives and pulls phenomenal. Right. And I may end up pulling it down in the future to just get a little bit more out of it when I get bored with it. But right now, I haven't hit a point where I'm dissatisfied with the power.
Gotcha.
I love the power. The power comes on so aggressively, but it's also smooth. So you can feel it hit, but the car stays and does what it's supposed to do. And I took it to Mustang Week, and then we had some runs. I had some runs against some more powerful cars, Terminators, that made more power than mine did, and I walked all of them. So I just don't know what it. I don't know what it is, but the car responds to the power it makes very well.
Yeah, got the right setup, I guess.
Yeah, and that's exactly it, right? And when when it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
Don't fix it, right?
Don't fix
the Terminator,
it
rarely stays not broken.
Hey, that's the first time I seen that right there, though. The brake reservoir being painted.
Yeah, so that's really just a simple Moroso. I think it's a Moroso cover, and I had it powder coated. Moroso cap on the fuse box had that powder coated. True forged tank, and it's a dual tank, so it's separated in the middle.
Good old Cobra sound right there. Just look at it, bro. That's fucking clean. And look at that trash. And look back at this. That sounds good.
Yeah, the cams really give it a different. And it's never gonna chop like a LS, right?
Right.
I mean, for what it is, and for the power it makes, it's a great setup. Great device.
Hey, how you doing? Definitely sounds good.
Not a cup of shit.
Yeah, we can hop in and go for a ride if you want.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
I missed my mouth. I heard it fire up.
So these ain't the factory seats.
Have fun.
Bye.
Did you fix the seatbelt?
Oh, no, I didn't. You're just riding dirty.
That's fine.
All right. I won't kill you. Yeah.
I don't ever use seatbelt.
So I got aftermarket seats in here. So these are Cobra Maisano seats, and they got carbon fiber backings on them.
Right.
And what I liked about them is the color, and it said Cobra, and it matches everything pretty much, but it gives it more of a custom feel. Get that race.
Yeah, they
race
definitely
feel.
hold you. Is the motor built or is the motor stock?
So the motor is the stock bottom end minus the cams. Obviously with the cams I had to upgrade the valve springs and the retainers for the more aggressive lift on the cams. And then while I was in there, you know, I replaced all of the timing chain components and kind of beefed everything up. And outside of that, everything else is pretty much stock on the car, the internals. Powder coated the valve covers and everything while I had it off. Made it look all pretty. Of course, we got that classic Cobra freaks and groans, you know, everything.
I think that would get a lot of people about the older cars. They don't like the.
Yeah, they don't like the noises.
Yeah.
You know, they want that smooth ride and stuff, you know.
It goes.
It's up there, man. It's a fun car to drive, you know.
Then I guess with it being so light.
Yeah, these weigh, so the coupes weigh about 3650, 3700.
Right.
You know, convertibles are around 38, 39. So, I mean, they're not super light, but they're also not Hellcat heavy, you know.
Right. I just go straight out?
Yep, just go straight out. You hit a stop sign, take a left. I'm out here with Ken.
Yeah.
Out here driving the Cobra.
It seems like it's ready to go.
3 people have ever driven this car. Myself, my wife, and now Ken.
I feel like your son. I gotta get used to that.
Yeah, you gotta get used to that twin disc. That engagement.
I feel like I can't drive a stick now the way I'm rocking.
It takes a minute to get used to, but once you get used to it, it's super easy, man. But that, you know how T56 is, you know, it's a finicky transmission to begin with, but this one's got the twin disc McLeod.
You say go left right here?
Yeah, go left right here. It's got the RXC with the light and steel flywheel, and then it's got, you know, clutch fork, did all the upgraded bearings in it. But my plan is to pull it out and have Alan build it.
Right.
He's gonna build both of our transmissions at the same time.
Go straight?
Yep. We'll buy all the parts for everything. And, you know, he's gonna basically build us a couple bulletproof T56s.
Right. I mean, he's pretty good with it.
Yeah, he's phenomenal at building transmission. He's built a few transmissions for some of the guys here in the CSRA.
Right.
And then, you know, he's done a few engine builds as well. But parts and everything to build it right is about $600 per transmission. So
that's not too bad.
no, it's not bad when you're considering what it would cost to build or to buy a Magnum.
Right.
And then with a Magnum, you've got to buy, you know, the, you know, the yoke, drive shaft. You got to get all these other parts.
Well, I go right.
Yeah, you can go right. I'll take you down to the light, and then you can go back up. Because they think they want 800, 900 horsepower, but then it becomes almost undrivable on the street, and you kind of lose that sense of enjoyment. One of the most fun cars I've ever been in, most fun Terminators I've ever been in, was a ported stock supercharger car, you know, with just a mildly upgraded clutch and a full exhaust. And man, that car drove so well. It ran great. It made stupid power. And it was just hella fun to drive on the street, and it screamed, you know, that supercharger, hearing that whine, and you could literally drive it to work without any issues or problems.
It just feel like, I mean, it don't feel super old, you know.
It doesn't, and that's the best thing about it. Everything in this car, I think it's mostly because of the low mileage, but the bushings and everything have all been, you know, the front end, all the suspension and everything's been redone, and the car still feels very tight. Everything feels very tight. It's not all loose and rickety and falling apart. You know, everything is nice and tight. The car feels and it responds to your touch. You move the steering wheel, car moves. It's not one of those where you have all that play in the steering wheel and you know, you don't know where the car is going to go or what it's going to do.
It's like I'm in love. I'm going to do some work now.
Good luck, man. I'm telling you. They're out there, but you just really got to, you know, the good ones are out there. You just got to really search. Because like I said, the cars are popular. And you got to know what you're looking for, because a lot of people rag them out, a lot of people wreck them, salvage title, rebuild them. So you got to really make sure you find a good one. You know, check the frame rails, check all of that stuff, because you just don't know what people have just tried to put back together after they've already ruined it. This will take you back on Jimmy Dice. Stretch your legs a little bit, but yeah, he's one of the best detailers, and honestly, it's his, like, detailing, once you reach a certain level, a lot of detailers are the same for the most part, right? They offer the same products, but what really got me with Jamie was he's just a good guy. Like, he's just a really good person. So even when you go there, you know, and you're spending this, you know, hundreds or $1,000+ on a ceramic coat or paint correction, you don't even care because you know you're getting a great quality product. You know you're getting somebody who cares, somebody who's an expert in the business, but also somebody who's like just a good person.
Right.
Like you can talk to him, he's down to earth. Message him on Facebook, and he'll always respond and answer. I mean, it's just rare to find that this day and age.
Yeah.
People who care about their work and people who are just that good, you know. But
it even got the old school shake to it.
yeah, man, that's them cams. Them Stage Street comps, man, they really hit. I considered going with something like a custom grind.
Right.
You're green.
That's blanket.
Oh no, yeah. But I thought about going with like a custom grind. But at the end of the day, like I'm not looking to squeeze every ounce of power or every chop.
Right.
The Stage 3 is a nice off-the-shelf cam. You know, a few mild upgrades with the valve springs and the retainers.
Gotcha.
And we did all of that in like a weekend at a buddy's house. Pulled the engine and transmission out. We just did everything on a stand in one weekend.
I just go straight.
Yeah. This will take you all the way back down by Zaxby's. They've refined the Mustang to the point where
it don't feel like a Mustang.
It doesn't feel like a Mustang anymore. Right. Exactly. You know,
it's more like luxury. I mean,
and some people say that's great. Some people would argue that, you know, that's what's supposed to be. You know, right. This is what they've been waiting for all these years. You know, they want that refined Mustang. Well, you know, I like the raw. I'm telling you, if I could own every car that Ford made, you know, from 2002 to 2004, I would. I'd have an SVT Focus, a SVT Lightning, SVT Cobra. I'd have a Mercury Marauder. I would have, you know, all of these cars. That's what made Ford so awesome back in the day, man. Is this? They had so many different varieties. Who would have thought to take a Cobra engine and put it in a four-door Panther platform sedan?
Right.
You know? Like I said, you know, it's got the quadrant and the firewall adjuster.
Right.
I just like the engagement more towards the top, but it gets easier, believe me.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It gets easier to drive the more you drive it. It's just, like I said, that aggressive twin disc, man. It's, I'll tell you what though, you'll never have a time where you grab a gear,
right,
and it, you know, it doesn't go. It will, that twin disc will grab every gear, and there will be no slippage.
I got a twin disc in mine from Vantage, and it's pretty good, but it's not like this at all.
No, I mean, you got a hydraulic clutch though.
Yeah.
This is not. This is cable clutch.
Yeah,
that's why it adds that feel. It gives a little bit more of a stiff feel to it.
Right.
Because it's not hydraulically assisted. I mean, you get one of these new Coyote cars, you barely got to touch the clutch and it goes to the floor.
Yeah.
And that's how driving like my Fiesta. That's how my Fiesta is. You know, and that little car. You know, I'll take you out in that after this. And
right.
I'll let you. You really want to put your pedal to the floor on something? Drive the Fiesta.
I got you.
That thing, I'm telling you, you won't be able to stop laughing. It's so much stupid fun. But Yeah, you can feel it.
Yeah.
You gotta get that, you gotta kind of hold that engagement, you gotta be in the right RPM on it.
Yeah, I can tell, like, if you go too below, it get the rocket.
Yeah. And you know, the cams also have something to do with it too, you know.
I go straight.
Yeah, right there, left.
Left.
Dan at Pro Dyno did a phenomenal job of dialing the cams in, and
Oh, man.
there it is, ladies and gentlemen. There it is.
I cut off.
He stalled it.
I ain't did that in a while.
But yeah, he did a great job of dialing it in and getting the drivability, because the drivability wasn't always this good, man.
Right.
It wasn't. It really wasn't.